Hello everybody, this is Maniac4Bricks, and I'm here with another LEGO haul. It's a massive one, as you can tell, because I have to be in frame to show you all of this. So this is all from Greenberg Toy and Train Show. It is a whole bunch of stuff that is from Ray. As you remember, he's been mentioned in a couple of Greenberg hauls, because he's the guy I normally go to for certain minifigures, sometimes good parts, sometimes even partial sets. This time around, it's more than that. At least twice more than that. So we have parts from Ray. We have this bag behind there, and this bag over here. That is from Joe. I believe I've mentioned him before, from ToyCon, New Jersey, and from, I want to say, Brick Fair? Probably Brick Fair, or, yeah, Brick Fair, New Jersey, I believe. I think it was like Logan's Bricks. I forget exactly what the store name is, but you can find them at different conventions, usually in the New Jersey area. Selling different LEGO items. And also, behind that is some stuff from Facebook that I met up with somebody locally and was able to get a whole bunch of stuff from them. Now, even though my hat, there's really not a particular reason why I chose the Bionicle Mask Wall miniature for the hat today, because I've been doing a hat day for quite a while. This is at least a week now. Of doing different designs on the hat. If you haven't followed that, check it out on Instagram. I will repost some of that stuff to Facebook later on. Getting back on topic. There's not a particular reason why I chose this, but now that I think about it, it actually is a good time for it because, number one, I've added a few more walls to the Bionicle Mask wall, mostly on the Kanoe side, where the Toa masks are. There's a silver and gold section now. And it also is kind of suiting because there are some Bionicle stuff in this haul. Not all of it. Not all of the haul is about that. So let's get right into the haul. Where's the best place to start? Let's start with one person at a time. This is from Ray. And as far as seeing everything up close, I'll probably just post some pictures again through Instagram or on Facebook. So check those out later on. And hope you guys enjoy it. So, because there's so much here to do, I don't think I could, edit it all and show it real up close in video here, but I'm just going to show you the sheer mass of stuff. First thing we have, I got this for about $5, is most of the LEGO Dungeon, I think it was called Dungeon Hunters. It was a 1990 castle set, and I do have a bunch of other pieces and figures to it. They're just in another bag. But this is the wagon itself. Pretty nice for, simpler parts, good color scheme to it. I'll review the whole thing later on. I do not have the complete set for that, though, because I am missing part of a minifigure or two. So, that will be on hold. Reviews, in general, are kind of on hold. This is just a big bag of basic brick. He had a whole bunch of these. They sold early, but he had one bag left that he saved for me. So, this is great. This is good for filler brick. This is good for building brick. They're going to see a lot of basic brick in this haul that has to do with the beach town. I am working on, I've been doing a bit of cleaning, so I've been able to arrange some space to put up the beach town, which I've been promising for many months now. And I will also be working on a couple more buildings to go into said town. And also, other pieces are good for that as well. Next bag here. This is separate. This is a special request pickup of some LEGO Friends sets. There's 41112 and 41113. Two copies of the latter, which is the bunny set. These are all basically like the birthday party animal sets from Friends. They're pretty nice. I do like the animal sets. This is kind of a last minute kind of pickup, but I still like it. This is a moon base plate with the traditional ramp styles, just different colors, different patterns, and I am looking forward to using that somehow. Not necessarily going to use it for the beach town, obviously, because it's a moon, but I thought it would be interesting and nice to try it out. Now, there are a lot of minifigures in here. And hopefully, I don't run out of space in this camera, so I can show you at least a majority of the whole itself right here, and not have to cut into a part 2, part 3, or whatever. First thing I wanted to mention, since Ray allows me to mix and match minifigure parts to either put some parts accurately together or get some better parts for them, I put together, and this will show up on a later video, a custom, my personal custom, out of purest pieces, I have official pieces. I put together a minifigure from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game. You guys know I love that NES game. It's like one of my favorites. And also one of my favorite arcade games as well, because that's how it started. And I put together this minifigure. This is one of the bosses, I believe from the 3rd stage, where it's like a snow-based stage. And he's at the end like throwing giant boulders at you. Ice boulders, maybe. There's a minifigure in here with just black overalls and Dunagrees, I think they call it in Bricklink. I've been actually looking for these for a while and hoping to collect all the different colors of them. There's maybe 5, and I have at least 2 or 3 now. There's a Dark Forest minifigure with a hood. This one is just very interesting. I've seen it before. It's from Lego Racers. It's one of the monster truck riders. This was a really good conditioned classic spaceman in red, which is good because the one I have is like really worn. Like even the white is worn on it. This one is so good, it still has pretty good gold on there. That's why I definitely wanted to pick it up. I just kind of saw it there and I was like, I like it. Alright, this is just a basic town figure. There's a couple magnets in here. And, you know, add some new colors to my magnets. I honestly, I don't know how many more magnets I get, but I could probably get a lot more and put them up on the whiteboards or whatever, or on the fridge. This is kind of a mix and match a little bit for a police officer. Kind of the wrong hat, but he's fine. Kind of left it like that. Another police officer. I got a couple of these that specifically for getting the police printing on the back. Want to use those for some stuff. This, I believe, is from the Black Monarch Castle, or at least the Black Knights? Something like that. This one is an airport minifig. He has the wrong hair, but I will change that later. I wanted to get that hair anyways, though. This one has the wrong face. This is kind of a mishmash of parts. I will take it out, part it out later. Basically, has a black suit. He has the NRG Kai helmet, which I actually need for Energy Kai, because I didn't have his helmet already. Got a white bicycle. And we've got... This one I got because my friend Gene, who's in Garden Slug, had this as part of one of his displays during Brick Fair. And I was like, that's actually pretty cool. I should try that out too. So this is a bit of a custom, but not my custom. This is a custom of Rob Zombie. Mostly used with some of the parts from the Stingray series of Aqua Raiders, and then there's like the Blackbeard, so it works pretty well. There's just a classic police officer. And then there is just a minifigure with like a kind of a beachish minifigure. Need some beach figs. I mean, I will have sig figs in my town. Don't get me wrong. They're going to easily populate it. But I wanted to have some spare figures just to use here and there for whatever. Even if I already have the parts, they're just good to have around. This is a Frankenstein from Series 4, I believe. I have to find his head piece. Literally part of his head piece. There's a robber from City. There's a holiday guy. I don't know if I have the right combination of parts for him. He may have actually white hands instead of yellow. But I got most of it in there. Especially the face. The embarrassing looking face. Which I think I have one of those already too. This is a nice kid figure. There's a Power Miners figure with, I believe he's from Lavatraz. There's a black horse that goes with the Dungeon Hunters. That's such an interesting name for a set like that. It's just a wagon. It's a prison wagon or whatever. There's a fire chief. There is a spaceport scientist. I do need a couple scientists because I'm working on a mock for Brick Theory headquarters. It's going to be a laboratory in modular scale. This is a bit mismatch of parts. Maybe I'll use it for a waiter. Maybe I'll just use it for a guy in a suit. We got a RoboForce guy in red and trans neon orange. This one I picked up before, but it had a whole lot of like speckled white paint on it for some reason. So instead, I got this one. I'll have to exchange that one a little bit later. I got this figure, which is also part of the Dungeon Hunters. They got a red classic motorcycle. There's another police officer. There's a fireman. There's a forest fireman. I do like the forest firemen. They're really cool. I believe this was Paradisa because of the pink torso. And that is not even the half of this bag. Now there is one figure in here that I got early because I was so hyped for this. I've been waiting a long time to get this. It may be no value to anyone else but me. This is Gypsy Moth from Insectoids. It took me a long time to actually find this in person, and it's easy to find it on Bricklink, but I also know with some stores you have to do minimum buys, and shipping wise, I don't think it was worth it. So it was nice to pick up right then and there with all the right parts. And I believe I also have another Insectoids figure in here, but that one is oh, here it is. It's like the other captain type figure from the same series. This one has black arms, different printing on the just about everywhere. They do look very similar. I will admit that. That's probably one of the earliest of LEGO themes where I was like, I can't tell these minifigures apart. There's so many of them. That's probably one of the reasons. I mean, I only really like Insectoids for nostalgia. But otherwise, it's here or there. Kind of hit or miss. Police officer. Got a police officer. Got a Fright Knight. Let's see. We've got another guy, Dungeon Hunter. I believe this is just a fireman. I don't remember what this one's from. Maybe it's just town. Like Legoland. Like that kind of town. Classic motorcycle. But this one has, I really wanted to get that, the windscreen piece. Actually surprised to find that windscreen piece, so I was like, yeah. Got a skeleton from Minecraft with the bow. Got just another guy in a suit. Need a couple guys in suits. Got a forest police officer, different hat. I made this because I haven't picked up any of the Guardians of the Galaxy sets. I don't know if I ever... I mean, I'd like to get some of them. I love the movie. But the sets, they're gone. And at least from stores. So I don't know. Maybe eventually I'll pick them up. But for right now, I wanted to try making a custom Peter Quill. So here's what I made. And I probably could do another video about that. I do have the helmet separately. Let me know if you want to see that video. Again, Purist Custom, so I didn't have to mod any parts. Short legs, but the Bat Monster from Monster Fighters. Got another overalls and Dunnegree, whatever you want to call it. Another one there. This is just a nice looking castle figure, kind of old school. Another guy in a suit. And this one is a police officer. This one is just a mismatch of parts, but mostly my sig fig parts. I have another police officer. This one is almost there for building a guy from like the Spanish Armada series of pirates, I believe. Sensei Wu, well there's something that everybody knows. Sensei Wu from Ninjago, the Snakes version, 2012. Got another guy from Alien Conquest. It looks like a scientist. Another scientist. There's a blue forestman. I have a red one somewhere. There's a Coast Guard, like really classic Coast Guard guy. There's a mailman, classic mailman. This is Team Extreme. And there's Samurai X, 2012 version as well. Been on my list for a while. Another police officer with Obi-Wan's Episode 2 face. Another police officer. Here's another one you guys might be familiar with. Aunt May. The original version of Aunt May from Spider-Man 2. Not the newer one that is a lot more generic, in my opinion. Like, you could find a whole bunch of those parts outside of that set and still build her. This one didn't have the right face, but I have the hood for it elsewhere. Basically, Igor, or Igor, however you may say it, from Lego Studios, Vampire's Crypt. This is Sleepwalker without the right hair. Actually, no hair. Another guy in a suit. A paramedic. Good to have. Just a guy with a vacation torso. And almost a guy from Dungeon Hunters. I think I said there were 3 from Dungeon Hunters, but I might have miscounted one. And a whole big bag of accessories. A whole bunch of accessories in here, including but not limited to money pieces of all varieties. A whole bunch of vines and seaweed. There's like a fish or 2. There's a road sign or 2. And a couple of life preservers for toilets. Definitely going to make a bunch of toilets. And there's a lot of other stuff in there, so I'm not going to bore you with that. Next up, a whole bag. This is still in the same bag. It's like Felix the Cat. The bag just never ends. How much can he fit in that bag? Basically, it's a big bag of base plates. And a few of these pieces, like, you know, the brick base plates. And a few of these, which are the tiled base plates. I'm not going to go run through every single one of these. I will show them later in town updates. But I'm also going to highlight 2 or 3 other pieces that were in here especially. There are a couple of regular 8x8 plates, because I definitely needed more of those. There's 2 of these interesting pieces, which I believe went to only a 4+. Sorry about that. So the last thing I wanted to share from that particular part of the haul was in the base plate section, I got 2 of these. These are a couple of raised ramps, and I actually have some kind of last minute, but pretty good ideas for what I can use these for in the upcoming beach town. And I, like I said, have 2 of them, so it should work out pretty nicely for my future plans. Woo! Landed perfectly into the bag. Alright, next part is from Joe. This is Logan's Brick Shop, I believe, is the name. I could be wrong again about the name. I've mentioned him previously, and nice to find some more stuff from him. So let's go straight to the chase. Lots of base plates, mostly blue, mostly tan, 1 or 2 that are green, and also one that's just a road, just in case I need some more backup. I actually have a lot of base plates because I want to do a lot of minifigure displays. You'll see them in upcoming videos later on, but I have plans, I have mounting squares, and I am ready to use them all. And also a lot of those minifigures may as well go up on those displays. A nice, quick, and kind of cheap option to put together, you know, displays for minifigs in the Lego room. Again, you'll see it later in videos. So, a whole bunch of town stuff in here, as in my beach town stuff, not town theme. There's a little newspaper stand. There's a mailbox. There's a mailbox. There's a mailbox. Hold up. There's a mailbox. There's a mailbox. Because he had a whole bunch of airport starter packs, kind of parted out by model and minifigures. So I got the mailboxes from just about all of those. Another newspaper stand. Another mailbox. Another mailbox. Another mailbox. I mean, they're $1 each, so it wasn't that bad. And newspaper stands were like 2 because they have more of the tiles and things. And I think that'll be great. Is that all of them? Oh, another newspaper stand. And we're good on mailboxes. Okay, we're good. But those are all good because I can put them around to different buildings and all throughout the beach town. It's not super going to be expansive, but it'll definitely be bigger than towns I've had previously. So I'm looking forward to that. Just a little road sign there. Another road sign with construction. There's a stop sign. There's a whole bunch of birds. I don't think I even have any that were just red, so nice to get a whole bunch of those. 2 track pieces. I believe these are both from the Dynamic Duo Funhouse Escape, because they are the 4-wide scale, with one being a curve and one just being a ramp. So, I'll try something out with those. And then there are 2 nets in here. Pretty sure they are both from Mickey Mouse. Like the older, like Lego system scale Mickey Mouse sets. Kind of juniorized. And there's also a classic popcorn maker. If I'm correct, this is from Main Street, which is part of the reason why I wanted to pick it up. Some nice glass piece in there as well. There's a few other things. Oh, actually a whole bunch of other things. I'm gonna go just do one part of each, but there's like 5+ of each part in here. I think as far as doors, it's pretty much one of each. And then there's windows, like tons of them, so I can make a lot of buildings, or make a lot of buildings with windows. Couple of trans clear 1x6x5 pieces. The panels, love the panels. Another type of door, another type of panel. I'm just gonna put that aside then. We don't take too much time for this video. Let me see, what's in this one? Oh yeah, these are a couple vehicles in here. One of them is from a Lego Town set, maybe Town Junior. It has to do with a phone company. And I thought that would be nice to fit in the town. Maybe Brickstar will have a ride around in it. We'll see. I don't actually have the minifigure that goes with it, or the other accessories, but for now, I'm good with that. This is Nick Fury's car from the Spider-Man set a couple of years ago, I believe 2012. And and it's not complete, but the core of it is built. What I wanted to do with this car is modify it and change a whole bunch of parts around so I can keep it from being a shield car specifically, and instead change it to kind of a more, like I'll still keep the functions of it, and the size is going to be relatively the same. I'll probably just take out the hood piece on the front, maybe make it into a different color, and work on the back area, but still have it as basically Nick Fury's car, but just maybe a different color or style. So that'll be fun. And then last but not least, since I ordered a bunch from them, I actually have a whole nother bag here, but I'll talk about this now because it's in this bag. I got a whole bunch of extra figures from them for free. So with these, there are Batgirl, the one from the Steamroller set. There's Robin, which I, for some reason, have not had this version of him where he's mostly just in red. This was a figure that I needed for Dungeon Hunters. So, very nice to get that version of Forestman. There's a black Forestman here. And then there's, I forget his name, but he is in some of the Amazon sets from Adventurers. He usually pilots like some of the boats that are in those sets. I think it's available in 2 sets. So, very nice to get those up close. I thought it would be a little bit easier to see if I just move the camera forward, because now we have a little bit less on the camera to show for behind me or sides of me. So, anyways, this entire bag still going from Logan's Bricks. This is all basic brick and slopes. These are all sorted by color, and I'm going to have a lot of fun using these in towns, or in town buildings, in just features in the town. Doesn't have to be specifically buildings. And also a couple of other mocks. I mentioned before the Brick Theory headquarters, modular scale, and also, what's the other one? Oh yeah, filler brick is always good too. So, these are, like I said, sorted by color. We have blue, we have red, and like I said, different varieties in different bags. These are in brown. Might use them for a tree. Blue, white, Brick Theory headquarters. All kinds of gray, old dark gray, light bluish gray, dark bluish gray, and a couple of prints in there as well. Black, red slopes. That's the second red slopes bag. First, the third red slope bag, pretty much. Light bluish gray, all the grays, I also have to do some modification with the Bionicle mask wall if I'm going to actually put lights behind it, so there's a bunch of good pieces for that in there. All different kinds of gray, mostly light gray. Oh, that's really good for the Brick Theory headquarters. In white. More red slopes. Buildings need roofs. More red brick. All the grays. Black slopes. I didn't buy every single bag they had for this, but I did buy a bunch of them. Alright, more blue. Red slopes and red brick. Red slopes, pink slopes, and magenta slopes. And the bag is already falling off the other side of the bed. More white brick. Black slopes. And a whole bunch of tan slopes, which I'm planning to use for dunes in the beach town. So, and there's also come more tan, dark tan, browns. Red slopes again. These are gray slopes. So we're almost there. Gray bricks. Black slopes. Dark red slopes. White. Just all kinds of white pieces. White bricks. All kinds of white pieces again. And finally, let me just shake the bag a bit. Finally, red slopes. So I have plans that are going to do with a whole bunch of blue buildings, or maybe a big blue building, also a big white building because of the Brick Theory headquarters, maybe some red buildings. I was actually thinking, with enough blue pieces, I could probably make a whole bunch of either blue houses or blue apartment building. You know, because at the shore you do have sort of like hotels, motels, Holiday Inn. You know the reference. And so that could probably work for just making like one big complex to have a whole bunch of minifigures reside in, instead of making individual houses for every single sig fig. Bag is going. Actually, I'll probably need that. Come back! I need to put you away! Alright. And last but not least, we have a local pickup. This is something I got over the Facebook groups, and I got to meet with the person right after Greenberg, and went through all these different sets. These are sets from Technic, Bionicle, Robo-Riders, and Throwbots, mostly. And there's actually a few extras that we found and threw in with the pile. It's actually a pretty good price. I'm not going to go over that too much. I forgot to include this entire box when we started the haul. Not only because there was a whole bunch that was already here, but also because it was just sitting across the room, and I almost forgot that it was even part of it. There have been boxes around for, you know, different projects and such. I thought it was one of those for a sec. So I'm really sorry I didn't put you in the thumbnail. Forgive me. Anyways, let's start with you. We're going to start with you. You get the honorary. Let's open this up first. So, there's a mix between complete and incomplete sets in here. I've gone through most of the sets in all three of these containers. There's still a couple of technical ones I still have to look at, but for the most part, I'm happy with it. There should be a lot of fun things to experience, or just play around with different pieces. Included with this, he threw this in, it was the Insectoids mask. I already have one of these personally from ToyCon, New Jersey. It's still pretty interesting. Oh, can't wear the hat and the mask. So, there we go. Got that. It's definitely too small for me. It's meant to be for kids. Anywho, in here, a complete Bionicle Power Pack. This has a minifigure, a Matoran, a mask, which I already have, but still nice to get a second one, and a CD, which I believe just has music tracks, but looks like it says something more than that. Very nice to get the CD, because it has like some. So this is from 2001. It's like the earliest of Bionicle tracks. Yeah, as far as I know, it just has 3 songs on it. 3 songs that were used a lot in the promotional material for Bionicle at that time. So, cool. Cool thing to pick up. And what's surprising is some of these packages actually still have like price tags on them. This says it's 129 kroner. So, you know, it's from, you know, from across the ocean. Alright, so Kopaka Nuva. We've got Kopaka. We've got Gali. Again, Peng Piece. That's another foreign sticker on there. Pricing and such. We've got Onua. Pretty much. Tahu. Ohatu, and Liwa. Yeah, so basically, and then this is like my third, maybe fourth, set of Toamata. At least the third with the canisters. But fourth or so because I know a whole bunch of other Bionicle lots I would get the early ones. So they're actually a bit on the common side. Robo Riders. There is Swamp. There's Lava, which I've picked up previously. And there's Onyx. Some nice glow-in-the-dark pieces, too. Dust. Power. And for those of you who actually follow this stuff, I think you're actually enjoying this. I hope so. Because it's a lot. And, you know, everyone has different tastes. So, this container for Throwbots does not have the figure in it, but it does have a couple of the disc pieces. I'm not big on collecting them right now, but I'm sure at some point I will get into these. Maybe at some point after going through building the Bionicle mask walls. I have, hopefully, another one coming up soon. I just have to check for the black pieces, how much of the wall I can build. But I'm hoping for that one I can at least build maybe either... I'm thinking probably the G2 wall would come up next. So in here is some of the parts. Well, the first one was Ski. This one, I don't think it says what it is. Does it say in the instructions, maybe? I know this one might be combined with other figures. So it's the purple one, 8522. That's a thing we can all identify and look up. There's actually a second 8522 in here, and this one does have the figure with it. You can see there. Oop, that closed on me. And a bunch of different masks, different discs in there. I know that it's not as complicated finding all these discs compared to Bionicle, or at least there aren't as many. 8521 is in this one, and this has some glow-in-the-dark pieces. That's cool. The discs glow in the dark. Because the idea for Throwbots is that each of these can throw discs. They all have pretty much the same arm piece and the same size disc, which is later used in Bionicle. And they can either do it from like one arm on top of their head, one arm on the side, two arms on the side, or something crazier like that. Alright, next one is a yellow container. It does not have the instructions in it, but you can kind of see the figure there. All folded up. Because that was actually a cool thing about them. They fold up into these pods. And for some reason, they had the implication on the pods that you could use these on a belt loop. Like, look in the instructions, they say you can use them on a belt loop. And look, I know it's made for kids, but I know that adults cannot use these for belt loops. They're just too bulky, too big. Another one that is purple, but it just has the discs in there. This one is red. I have the red one, in fact. But this one gives me a couple extra discs. There's a turquoise one. I do have the turquoise one, just all in pieces elsewhere. It's actually a pretty cool one, from what I remember, because it was on wheels. Very few of them that had wheels to them. And this one just has discs. So, put that away. Also, this is nice to get this container 4496. He's just like, you could just use it. No one needs to bring it back. So, this one I believe was Scuba. I do have Scuba, again, in pieces elsewhere in my collection. Has a couple discs in there. There's another orange one. A couple discs and an instruction book. Another yellow one in here. This one's complete as well. It's 8504. So you guys can obviously tell I'm going to have quite the marathon of Technic-based Lego sets, action figures, etc. This is a green one. Does not have all the pieces. And there's a couple discs in there as well. So, still cool to get for those parts alone. And just these containers, you know, have like a nice rainbow effect of the pieces. This one's incomplete. It is a sand-based one. Discs are in there. I believe this copy of it. Yes, this does have the full build. And it is set number, if I can get to the instructions. 8506. So, it's not a full collection of Throwbots, but there are a lot of them in here. And, on top of that, these are just the canister ones. There are a couple of boxed ones we'll take a look at in just a moment. Just not holding in place. I'll just move that over here. And there's a bunch more, just basically boxed Technic-style sets in here. Technic even going back to, I believe, 1997 for this one. This is 8216. Here we go with our Throwbots. Oh, gotta be careful, because some of these are open. Ooh, I forgot that part. Okay, so another one from Throwbots. This is 8523. And on the back, they have a really nice picture there of a bunch of them. Not all of them, but a bunch of them. And it kind of shows which ones are heroes, which ones are villains. There's like this catastrophic, like, look at this world-shattering effect on there. Yeah, it had a story. Before Bionic Gold, there was a Technic-based system of action figures that had a story as well. And this one, 25 kroner, according to the sticker, is Vakama. This is 8540. Oh, then we go into the really interesting Robo Riders, and yeah, there are these small ones. I think they're like on the really cheap side of things. I'm gonna have to look these up, but I have a whole bunch of these. 8006. I've never really seen these before, even in browsing on Brickset, and I do that often. 8545. This is another of Vakama, 8540. This is a Technic set with Lego parts. It's, you know, the 90s ones. 1996. This is set number 8207. Now, there's two little boxes here that have masks in them. And I would love to do this for a review. Now that I have boxes for some of this stuff, it's actually pretty good for reviewing, because then I can show you the kind of packaging that's in them. Especially something like this, where it's like, if I put up the review and I didn't have the boxes, you just see a bunch of masks. It really wouldn't be as appealing. Or I like boxes here and there when it comes to Lego sets. So, these in them have, there's an orange mask. There is a trans clear mask. I believe I have both of those already. I have to check. I know the trans clear one, definitely. I may already have this gray one, which I actually got through one of these kinds of boxes. But the other one I didn't have. This is in black. And I looked at my wall yesterday and I was really happy because I did not have that one. And now, new thing to add in, and immediately for display. 8005. Interesting about this one, it has a gear system. And a gear system prior to Bionicle, but using the same Bionicle-ish parts. I didn't even know. 8004, when I looked at before it cut off from what I saw, was 8003. So there's like a whole mini-series of these Robo Riders that I guess I could do in a collectathon. So, this is what? 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. So yeah, we're looking at almost an entire series collected for that. Alright, this next Robo Riders, this is pretty interesting. It's one of those kinds where you can split it in 2 vehicles, not have to recustomize it. 8516. There we go. And yeah, basically it's like one is some sort of bike and the other one is a jet. On the back it shows you can recreate it into 2 vehicles. Oh, okay. Yeah. This actually works where you can have it as like maybe 3 vehicles. That's really interesting to look at. Alright. This is, I believe, the 3rd copy that I have of the set. It's actually nice to get the box with it too. 8537. Nui Rama from Bionicle. Still can't remember if I reviewed it. I'll look back on the channel. You guys know the answer better than I do. Or can look it up sooner. 8408. I really love when Lego boxes have this opening flap on them so you can see all the pieces inside. Or or it'll have like alternative pictures in here, or just, you know, close-ups of the set itself. I remember at Toys R Us, and it's a Toys R Us I still go to, but I remember many years ago, there was a Toys R Us I went to where they had some of those kinds of sets. And, like, for some reason I have photographic memory of the strangest things like that, including a Lego pirate ship, which I believe they had in, like, a classic series, like a reissued version of this ship, just different packaging, and it had that flap function. Steven Spielberg Studio Maker set, I believe, also had that as well. Again, weird photographic memory that those things, I remember as a kid, seeing those. So this will be cool to build as well. And I believe the last box in here, I have to be careful with this one because it's open on both sides, and this is why the piece of paper is surrounding it. This is 8465 Extreme Off-Roader. And as far as I can tell, let me just see if I can slide it out. Let's see if I can hold the sides and give you a look at the box itself. So it's this off-roader and has a couple of interesting metallic green pieces from what I could tell. It also has ways you can hook this up with different accessory sets on the back. It shows, you know, you can like put extra stuff on it, like a motor. You could change the wheels. You can even put a speedometer on there. I'm not going to do those for the review, just going to talk about the set itself. If you would like to see those, I can talk about them, and I'd have to also get them. That's one of the reasons why I wouldn't do it for the review, unless I get it in transit before I do the review. Maybe. I don't know. Whatever happens, happens. So, that's all for the haul. This is like 3 or 4 hauls put together. It's that huge. And that means I have a lot to do. I have a lot to build, and I'm going to have fun with all of it. Especially considering that I will be mostly on break. I will put videos maybe here and there, but for the most part, I am on break from doing constant and consistent videos. This also means for the winter, I'm going to go hard. I'm late fall, winter. It's winter. It's cold outside. And there's frost. That means I am going to go hard on building the beach town, even though it's completely out of season. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to have a great time with this, reorganizing the Lego room. There are going to be some upcoming videos in 2017 where it's going to be a lot neater. It's going to have a bit of difference of style, and hopefully you guys enjoy it and join me for the ride. So thanks again for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope I don't do too many of these where I'm, you know, sitting on a bed and open everything here and there. But this was definitely a big haul I wanted to just put together in one video. Because there's so much to get at once, and so much to expect, so much more to do, on top of everything else that I have to do. So, we'll see you next time with more LEGO videos. Let me know in the comments, what did you like best about this haul? And, I know there's a lot of technical Bionicle towards the end, but, there's also, you know, a lot of classic stuff in the beginning, so that was cool. There were a couple superheroes in there as well, so let me know in the comments what you liked best about the haul. And, as always, see you next time with more videos.